Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is an entertaining movie from start to finish. I had a fun time. I enjoyed the action scenes. The characters were interesting. And when it comes to the story, while it may not have lived up to the previous films, I definitely will say that this movie is well worth the time. Going into this film, I was a little bit skeptical because while I love the trilogy that Matt Reeves had worked on, I didn't know if this one was going to be worth the effort or just going to be a straight up dumpster fire. I'm thankful to say that this film did meet my expectations to some degree, especially considering that this one is following new characters. Then while it doesn't quite live up to the potential it could have been, there is enough here why I am generally interested where they take the story next. And considering that this film takes place centuries since the last installment, I really wish they had explained some of the lore about what the apes been through throughout those hundreds of years. But at last, they just skipped over it and just really focused on Noah's story and his journey to get his family back. Overall, when it comes down to it, a good cinematic experience in my opinion, even though I thought some things. Now, when it comes to the director Wes Ball, I thought he did a great job with this film. I knew he had worked on the Maze Runner movies, which I haven't seen yet, so I didn't know his directing style, but he actually managed to create quite a world with this fourth installment of this rebooted trilogy. And speaking of which, I think the Planet of the Apes franchise is pretty interesting. I haven't seen all the movies, but I will say that I recently did go back and rewatch the trilogy, and I have to say that it's emotionally compelling just like it was when those films that first came out. Especially considering that Caesar was such a leader, a legend, and his influence actually carries over into this installment. And speaking of which, I thought the character of Noah, definitely he was pretty cool. He is certainly not like Caesar. He's his own person. He's a likable character. And basically, he's just going to try to get his family back. I won't go much into detail without giving out spoilers, but definitely a character I can see a lot of people liking. And then there's Raka, another interesting character. I definitely like his wisdom. It reminded me of the influence that Caesar had left upon the generations of apes. But when it comes to the antagonist, I thought that Proxenus Caesar was definitely pretty menacing. Especially near the third act, I was saying, man, this character, I definitely hated the character. And basically, all these apes, it definitely reminded me of the original Planet of the Apes movie. Apes hunting humans. And speaking of which, I thought the character May, she was alright. She's not that very interesting, to be honest here. She's there really for the sake of the plot, but we as the audience don't get to know much about her. And well, without giving anything away, I was saying to myself, this character could have been written a little bit better. But what I did like was the cinematography, the action scenes, and of course the set pieces. At the end of the day, while this one has some issues here and there I thought could have been improved upon, this is not a boring movie. It's very entertaining and certainly a film that I would probably say, while not the best out of the movies I have seen of this franchise, it's definitely not the worst either. I'm giving this film an 8 out of 10. Now, there are some religious undertones presented here which I thought were done quite well, such as Proximus Caesar being this false leader for the apes. It reminds me of what the real Caesar would never do. Certainly, I wasn't disappointed with this one, even though I thought the narrative could have been a little bit stronger in my opinion. This is still a film that does its job well of keeping the audience engaged, and more importantly, not being a bore fest either. And that is my review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Alright, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie if you have seen it. Also, if you're a fan of this franchise, how would you rank all 10 films from worst to best? Okay, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.